When I press record, you decide to rub against it. What's that about, huh? Hi guys, I'm Kat and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm currently sitting on my kitchen floor because I was just in the middle of cleaning my kitchen and decided I wanted to make a video. That's why the lighting's so bad, because it's currently 11:40 at night and I felt like making a video. Yeah. And in this video, I just kind of wanted to talk about random things because I've been alone for the past couple of days. So yeah, apparently I don't do very well alone. My mental health does not like being alone, and so I've been kind of going stir crazy and ordering DoorDash basically every day, and it's been a problem. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna talk to you guys. I've been alone. Usually my sister lives with me, but I've been alone because the current place that I live, we filled out so my sister has been with me since August of 2022, so it's been over a year, and my sister filled out an application to be put on the lease because a couple of days before she moved in, it was either August or September of 2022. I knew her lease went up for her apartment in August of 2022. And I called my apartment people, who I don't think they work here anymore because there's been a different manager. I've been here for almost 5 years and there's been a different manager all 5 years. But I called and asked what the process would be about getting her on the lease, and they said that she just needed to fill out an application. And so we moved her stuff in, we got her an application, she filled it out, she got the application fee and turned it in with the application. Didn't hear anything about it. And then there was an inspection, because they do inspections here to make sure that we're not hiding dead bodies or making meth. And she was here and I wasn't. And her bed is in my living room because I live in a 1-bedroom apartment and shit's expensive right now to move into a 2-bedroom. So she currently lives in my living room. So all of her stuff is in my living room. Her bed, everything is in my living room. And they did the inspection and I wasn't here. I was at work, and and they spoke to her because she was here, and there's obviously a bed in the living room, and in my bedroom they didn't say anything about her. You would think that if she wasn't supposed to be here, if she wasn't on the lease, I would get a call or a text message or an email or a fucking smoke signal or something asking me, like, you know, how come there's someone living in your living room? And I didn't. So, you know, I didn't think anything of it. I thought she was on my lease for that reason. The last inspection we had, they asked us why she was here and if she's supposed to be on the lease, and I said she should be, and they told me that if she's not on the lease, then I could get evicted. And so I had to go down there and talk to them about it, and basically, long story long, the person that she turned the application to didn't submit it. And this was in, I think, she turned it in, I think, September or something. Not too long after she actually started living with me, and our last inspection was October of 2023. So they didn't submit it at all. So my last meeting that I had with them, because my lease is up almost and I had to get recertified because I live in a rent-controlled building, I was basically told that it's on my lease that I can't have someone living here that's not on my lease, and I should have read my lease, which in hindsight, maybe. But also, in my opinion, you know, when you ask someone what steps to take to get someone on your lease, one of the steps should be they can't live with you, which on one side that does make sense to me that she can't live with me, but on the other side she didn't have a lot of places to go, so but you know, I would think that would be a step they would take. But my dad was telling me that they don't really talk about the lease very often or what exactly is on the lease, because if they do, if they misinform me about something, it makes them liable. So of course they didn't tell me she couldn't be here, and they were like, well, it's on your lease and she can't live with you. So we had to refill out another application because the first time they didn't submit it. So she can't be here with me until we find out if she's been approved or not. And so I've been living alone which I lived alone for like 3 years, like 4 years, I think. So it's not that big of a deal. It's just like part of the reason she moved in with me in the first place was, one, shit's getting expensive to live alone. It's become basically impossible these days to live alone. Two, her lease was coming up and, you know, she wanted another place to stay. And three, I get really fucking lonely and it gets really dark and twisted up in my head really bad. So you know, I needed someone here for my mental health, which is probably something that I should work on, being alone. But like, you know, that was part of it. I was hitting a really dark mental point in my life before she moved in, and I knew that we could help each other because she's my sister, she's my best friend, she's one of my soulmates. And so I knew we could help each other. And now that she's not here and I've been living with someone for over a year, my mental health hasn't been great. Like when I lived with my boyfriend for a brief time, when I moved out and I moved into here, to live by myself for the first few months, because I lived with him for over a year. For the first couple of months of living here, it was really difficult because you get used to living with someone and then being around and having that energy, and when they're not, it's kind of lonely. And so I'm relearning how to be alone, which is fine because a couple of reasons. One, because I need to, you know, be okay with being alone. But two, like I want to go on a solo trip by myself out of state for like a week. So it'll be good for me. Granted, there's a difference though, because if you're going out of, like, you're going on this like vacation thing by yourself, like it's exciting. Being alone is that bad. But living here and being in this familiar space and all of her stuff is still here, and also feeling guilty because now she's displaced is, but also pissed off because someone didn't do their job and now I have to suffer for that. So, and I realized my part that I played. I should have been more proactive about reading my lease, and I'm definitely not going to have phone calls anymore. I'm going to be having emails because the problem with phone calls, little thing if you want to learn about something, you should always have a paper trail. You should always have emails or text messages, because if something is said verbally, it doesn't make it valid. Because like if like a verbal contract is not valid because it's verbal. If, say, since there's been so many managers that have gone through this place, if say one manager said something to me verbally, which has happened, then a new manager comes in, there's no way for me to prove that. And so I will be only communicating through email, anything important, because that way I have proof. So if something happens, I have proof that it happened. So a little bit of advice from me to you: always have a paper trail. Like if you have the ability to text or email, like a business or your landlord or something like that, get that information, because that way you're covering your ass. So that's what's currently happening in my life. So yeah, I'm cleaning my kitchen at almost midnight because mentally I'm not doing great, but also just like I've been wanting to clean for the past few days and I haven't. I've been watching The Walking Dead lately, which is something I wanted to talk about because, so I'm in, I think, season 9. I haven't watched anything beyond, season 7, and I just completely stopped watching it. And then one day I just decided to start watching it, and I was watching from the beginning until now, but then I was like, well, I've seen all of this. I've seen all the way up to the end of season 7, so I just started watching season 8. And there's gonna be spoilers, just so you're aware, so if you haven't watched The Walking Dead. Like, I knew certain things happened. I knew who died. I knew who, like, how they died. I've known all these things because, like, you know, the internet ruins things for you sometimes. But, like, I knew that Rick died, quote unquote. I knew that, but, like, I had never watched the episode, or anything with Anne or Jadis. I hadn't watched any of that. until I was just randomly decided to watch season 8. And a lot of the reason I stopped watching The Walking Dead is because it's kind of the same thing over and over again. Just like you have an enemy and this enemy is trying to take your community and blah blah blah, there's a horde and whatever. It's kind of the same thing over and over again. So I stopped watching it. And then like season 8 pulled me in really well, and then, you know, the episode where Rick dies, it actually hit me emotionally because you see a lot of these past things and you get to see like Shane again, and you get to see Sasha again, and Herschel again, which really hit me in the feels because Herschel is one of my favorite characters. And seeing this like whole experience, and he's talking about needing to find his family, and just this emotional, it was a very well done way of ending a character's time in a TV show. And the reason I say quotes is because the new TV show, The New Walking Dead, The Ones That Live, that is based on Rick and Michonne, is coming out February 25th of this year, and I'm so very excited. I haven't watched any of the other Walking Dead shows. I did watch Fear the Walking Dead briefly, but I stopped watching it. I didn't watch the other one where it's like something universe, whatever. I didn't watch that one. But I haven't watched the Daryl Dixon one or Dead City, but I'm going to. I want to start watching them after I finish The Walking Dead, get to season 11 when it actually ends, because that way when I start watching Daryl Dixon and Dead City, it'll make more sense if they say certain things. But currently I'm watching season 9, and we've met the Whisperers and we met Alpha. And what I think is so cool about the Whisperers versus like the Saviors, even though Negan is like the coolest person ever, I think Negan really helped revamp a villain. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is so incredible, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the Whisperers are actually really creepy because they walk with walkers, and there's something so crazy and unhinged about them, because like when it was like the governor or the Saviors or like other people that were trying to kill them, these were people that were just trying to like protect their people and survive, and the Whisperers are just unhinged. Alpha is unhinged. She will kill her daughter, she will kill any of the community, she will kill her own people, and there's no remorse and there's no rhyme or reason. And I think that makes it so fascinating. But you do see moments with Alpha that she is human and she does have feelings, but in her own twisted, messed up way. And she was abusive to Lydia, but I do think because it doesn't really talk about her past very much before, you know, everything started to happen. But I do feel like a lot of like the infection happening, and it's been like 16 years, but the infection happening probably broke her, because fear can make you do really fucked up things, and wanting to regain control and power can make you do really fucked up shit. And I feel like it took a person who was probably not a terrible person and just completely made her unhinged. It's wild. I just barely finished the episode where you see all the heads on the pikes, where Tara and Enid and Henry and Luke and just all the heads on pikes. I just finished that. And like, again, I knew that happened, but like, shit. And I can't help but think, because Carol is my favorite character, one of my favorite characters. My favorite characters were Glenn, Carol, and Negan. But I feel like, genuinely, if you would have let Carol just lose her fucking shit and just go on free, I think that Alpha would have died. I feel like Alpha would be just gone. I feel like if Carol literally lost her shit and like just went absolutely crazy because Alpha killed her son, I think Alpha would have been killed. I don't think what would have, because I know what happens with Negan and how he goes with the Whisperers so he can get close to Alpha to kill her. I genuinely feel like if they would have just let Carol go and be Carol, I think Alpha would be dead. I think she would have been dead like way soon. But that's not a good TV show. But genuinely, like, I really do. Like, I feel like Carol's that dark horse, that silent killer, that if they really let her unhinge, absolutely, Alpha would be dead. And I feel like if Rick was there after all these people were beheaded and put on pikes, Alpha would be dead. Alpha and Beta would be absolutely dead. Like, genuinely, without any thoughts. I think if Rick and Carol, like, Rick was there, she would be absolutely destroyed. Like, destroyed. But, so yeah, I'm currently watching that. I'm in the episode where the storm and, like, the snowstorm and the kingdom, you know, over time would fall apart, because that happens if you don't have the materials to fix buildings. It happens, and so they have to move everybody from the kingdom to Hilltop. And that's currently where I'm at. And I was like, damn, I really want to talk about this. I am so fucking behind. There's gonna be people that are like, yeah, we've known about this. But, like, genuinely, it's been a long time since a TV show has pulled me in, and like, it's almost like I've never watched The Walking Dead before, but it's been really fun just kind of watching it, and it makes me think about, like, what I would do if there was an apocalypse that's similar to that, like a zombie apocalypse. Like, how would I travel? Would I travel with people? Would I stay alone? Like, what would I do? What would be my weapons? Where would I stay? Like, stuff like that, because it's just fun to think about. Everything died, and so I had to wait till it charged. But like I was saying, I genuinely feel like if Rick and Carol were able to, if Rick was there and Carol was able to just kind of go after Alpha, I think she'd be dead. Just saying, because, you know. And, I know Maggie comes back, so, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting, and I'm really excited to watch it. I'm gonna try not to watch it too much tonight, because I have to take a shower and go to sleep soon, because I work in the morning. But that's what I've been doing a lot of my time with, and has been helping with my mental health issues, is like watching The Walking Dead. And I really love Negan. I loved Negan even when he killed Glenn, even though Glenn is one of my favorite characters. I feel like Negan is a lot like Rick, in my opinion. I feel like they're very, very similar, and almost akin to each other. I feel like Negan's more like on the unhinged side, that if Rick didn't have, like, the emotional attachments that he had, I think he'd be more like Negan. But I think a lot of the reason that, you know, Rick and him kind of clash a lot, other than the fact that, you know, Negan killed his people, but, you know, Rick's people attacked his people too, but, like, I think a lot of the reason they did clash was because they were extremely similar. And I like Negan because I think he's a really great character, and we're kind of seeing more of him and his human side and getting to know him more. And I have seen the clip where he's explaining to Maggie in Dead City that he only was a monster when he actually had to be to protect his people. So you kind of start to get to know Negan a little bit more. And, you know, because there were things that Rick did that were really just questionable to protect his people and to protect his son. So, like, so that's, you know, how I feel. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan is an incredible actor. I liked him in Grey's Anatomy, and I really liked him in Supernatural, and I think he's really good as Negan, and I'm glad that they kept that character, and they kept him in. I'm glad they kept him alive, and I know that Dead City got greenlit for a season 2, so when I start watching Dead City, I'm excited to see both. So yeah, so that's enough about The Walking Dead. There's people out there that are gonna be like, yeah, we've been new, like, you know, you need to catch up. But yeah, it's getting good again. I feel like shows that are on for a really long time, you start to lose interest because it kind of becomes the same thing, and then you kind of fall back into it, because that's how I kind of felt about Supernatural, because it, you know, and that just kind of happens. Some seasons are misses and some seasons are hits. It just really depends. But yeah, and I had other things that I wanted to talk about, and then the camera died, and I completely just lost everything. Like, genuinely, like, everything just gone. It's like, squirrel, and I completely lost everything in my head. I got a camera off of Amazon because I want to get into photography. I've been wanting to get in photography for a long time, but I didn't get a really expensive camera because, like, I say that I want to get in photography, but, like, I want to make sure it's something that I actually enjoy doing before I spend a lot of money on it. So I got just a camera off of Amazon. It wasn't too much money, but it takes really good pictures, and I want to start taking more pictures. One of the things that I want to do for this year is take more pictures, because I take a lot of pictures anyway, but I want to start really taking pictures and capturing moments, and I want to start scrapbooking, and I want to start doing stuff like that. I kind of want to start like scrapbooking month by month, so like taking pictures all of January and then scrapbooking that, and then all of February, and kind of on and on. But I'm not sure if I'll do that, or if I just want to, at the end of the year, take every single picture I took for the year and then do a 2024 scrapbook. We will see. I still need to do a shadow box for Blackpink, because I made a shadow box for Stray Kids, so I need to make a shadow box for Blackpink. I'll need a bigger one because we did more stuff when we went to Vegas to go see Blackpink, so there's a lot of stuff that I want to put in there. So I still need to do that, but, you know, I want to have more experiences and more memories and more moments, because those are the things that are going to stick with you, and those are the things that are going to become a part of you, and that's really important to me, to be able to spend time with the people I love and laugh and make memories and do all those things. So I want to start taking pictures, and then if like photography becomes something that I become really into and that I really enjoy, then I'll get like a good camera. I don't know what a good camera is. I'll have to definitely do research, but that'll be something that I'll do if it becomes an interest of mine that continues. I haven't really gone out to take pictures very often because it's been snowing for the past couple of days. It snowed all day yesterday. It snowed from 6 a.m. all the way until I think maybe 4 a.m. and it snowed all day. So much snow, and it was... I went out yesterday for a little bit because I live by a Subway and I wanted sandwiches. And so I braved the cold for that. But other than that, like, I've been home. Like, I go out more in the summer, so I'm excited for when it stops snowing and it gets warm, because that's when I go out more, so I can take more pictures and stuff like that. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But I think I'm still decompressing from the holidays because I work in retail and it's wild during the holidays, and so I think I'm still like coming down from that. I feel like everybody at work is, because, you know, we're starting to get sick again, which makes sense because but also it's like everybody from the adrenaline of December is like, it's finally coming down and we're able to relax and start doing projects that we haven't been able to do for a long time, and it's like hitting everybody. So yeah, and February is coming up, which is wild. My boyfriend and I are 10 years, so I think, I can't remember what 10 years is, like, because you have traditional, like, things for certain years. Like, I think 5 years is wood, 1 year is ceramic, and like 1 year is aluminum and copper, but I can't remember what 10 years is, and so I might figure that out and then do something there, for that, because 10 years, a little bit over a decade, me and my boy, lots of ups and downs and stuff. So yeah. Oh, and okay, so I've been watching a lot of, when I get depressed, I watch a lot of scary shit, a lot of horror, a lot of zombie content, and a lot of paranormal content. And I watch a lot of Twin Paranormal and a lot of Sam and Colby. I've recently started to get into Call Me Chris and Selena Spooky Boo's videos because I love them. Genuinely, if you are like having a bad day, or like mentally or not mentally, Selena Spooky Boo and Call Me Chris's content are so top tier, top notch, amazing content to consume when you are having a bad day, because it genuinely makes me feel better just sitting there and watching their videos, because it's such pure content. And then I love Twin Paranormal. They post every Sunday and they're super awesome, and I got my sister to watch it too. We were watching it December 31st, and I started watching it, and then literally the episode ended at midnight, so it was like perfect. But I watch a lot of paranormal content, and something I've noticed is, and this could be one of two things. It could be that when I watch the paranormal content, it stirs up whatever, you know, paranormal things that do happen to me. It stirs it up a little bit because of my energy, or I start to think I'm experiencing things because I've been watching spooky shit. You know, the mind is crazy and does stuff like that. But I have noticed, so I've talked about this before, that I see a dark shape, like a figure of a man around me a lot, and it's mostly out of the corner of my eye, and I hear a man's voice a lot when I'm by myself, and I hear shit and I see shit. I don't experience it as often when my sister is here, and I don't know if it's because she's here, so like it doesn't happen as often, like the energies or whatever spirits don't expose themselves to me very much because I'm not alone and because she's here, or I just don't notice it as often. But since she's been gone, I'm seeing shit out of the corner of my eye. I'm hearing things more often. The cats are acting weird. Last night, the weirdest fucking thing happened. I was watching a video and I noticed something out of the corner of my eye, and when I looked at it, you know when this, like, the TV has static and it looks like salt and pepper static? That's what it kind of looked like. It was the weirdest thing. I looked over and for a split second, it looked like static in the air, and then it just went away. And I've never seen that before. It makes sense if like I was straining my eyes or if it was dark in my room, but it wasn't. So that was weird. And sometimes I'll see auroras before I get a headache, but that wasn't what happened. And then like I see things out of the corner of my eye, and I hear movement in the apartment when there's nobody out here. And when my cats are in the bathroom, because they like to sleep in a basket on the back of my toilet, and my tuxedo boy usually lays on my bed with me. So I'll hear movement out here. It's not like stuff that scares me or makes me feel uncomfortable. It scares me in the sense of like it's not of this world, but it's not like I'm scared to the point where I feel threatened. But it's weird that it doesn't happen as often when my sister's here, but it happens so much when I'm alone. And I am an empath and I am more sensitive, and so I do think that because I'm more open to it, maybe that's why it happens. My mental health hasn't been that great, so maybe that's made me more open to it. But it's really, really just weird and really strange that it's happening more right now than when she's here. And I don't know. And I know that she's noticed things before, but not as much as I do. And I know it's like I've lived here longer and my energy is in this space more often, and the more emotional imbalance that you have can create some kind of residual energy, and it can attract certain things. And like I said before, being an empath and more sensitive, being more open to certain things can I do establish boundaries, but like there are some things where I'll have dreams and I'll see things out of the corner of my eye or in my mind's eye, and like I said, it could be because like I'm watching a lot of paranormal content, so like I'm getting freaked out and maybe my brain is starting to think that I'm seeing the same things, or it's stirring up some stuff that, you know, it's stirring up the energies, because I do think that certain energy can come through video, which sounds weird, but like you're taking video, which like you can capture energy in a picture. You can capture it in a picture. That's why like there's some, like, for example, certain haunted dolls you're not supposed to take video of or take pictures of, because, well, one, it can piss off whatever entity is in that doll, but also you can capture a piece of the energy in that picture and then it can take it with you. A video is a moving picture. So who's to say that whatever energy that is being videoed isn't being captured within that video, and then that energy that is in the video, you are also receiving. And I think that's also why I see people put in the comments like I don't claim any of this energy, because I think people are very like-minded of me, that they believe the same thing. And so like I do think when I watch the videos and when you watch the videos, it is good to establish that boundary, because I do think energy can come through. Even if it was something that was captured weeks or months ago, I do think that energy can come through, because reflections are portals. I do think that video can be a portal for energy too. So that could be it. I don't know. But either way, like I believe in respect and coexisting. I do believe that it's all about intention and, being kind to each other, and that's what matters. But that has been happening since she hasn't been here, and it happened a lot before she moved in too. I was having experiences a lot when she wasn't living here, so I don't know if it's because I'm alone and it's easier to, I don't know, notice, or if because I'm alone and my mental health isn't that great, it's easier to, I don't know, make me see it, or I don't know, it's really hard to explain if there's someone out there who might understand, if there's someone who watches this video, of course. But yeah, so that's super fun. But if you like paranormal content, Sam and Colby, obviously, really great. Call Me Chris and Selena Spooky Boo, their content is really awesome, and then Twin Paranormal is really top notch. So if you like paranormal content, they're really good. So yeah. But I should probably go take a shower because it's 12:30. So yeah, so that I just felt like sitting down and talking about random shit, obviously, because I have been alone for the past couple of days and I haven't really had anybody to talk to. So that's why just kind of stream of consciousness talking. But I do like making these videos because I do feel like it's very mentally cleansing for me, especially since I've been alone. And yeah, so if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe, please hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified whenever I post. And I hope that everything is going okay with you, and that, if your mental health is having a hard time like mine is, I hope everything goes well, and that you're not alone. And anybody who has watched The Walking Dead, let me know your thoughts, and if you have any education on why I'm having more paranormal experiences when I'm by myself, let me know. But yeah, I'm gonna go. So I hope you have a wonderful day and a beautiful night. And this is Kat, signing off. Bye.